This quarantined video episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
Thursday, and you know what that means.
Nudie Magazine Day?
Nudie Magazine Day. Nudie Magazine Day. Oh. No, it's podcast day. Welcome to episode 92, Wrestle-f-Mania. Live from the Nerd Corp Performance Center. We are going to talk about both parts of WWE's Wrestlemania 36. Like, first impressions overall, though, like, it was, I don't know, it could have been better, in my opinion.
I think that it's still weird to watch it, like, without a crowd, because I think that, like, their events are, like, 50% performance, and then the other part that makes it is the crowd.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, like, fucking props to them for still doing what they're doing despite no fans at all.
Right. Derek will be joining us here in a minute. He's just running home. So before we do that, let's get on with the nerd news.
So, we have an official reveal of the PlayStation 5's controller. It's the DualSense, not the DualShock. And it looks really cool. I really like how it looks. They're saying that, like, your triggers, for instance, are going to show, like, there's going to be, like, more, you can add, like, less or more tension, like if you're pulling the string on a bow. You'll feel, like, sensations of, like, driving a car through the mud. What else is there? There's, like, a built-in microphone so that you can, like, chat with people if you don't want to hook up your headset. Let's see, what else?
They moved the light bar down to the front of the...
Yeah.
With the touchpad.
Yeah, it's like coming out through the cracks of the touchpad. So let's see. I was gonna say something else. They don't have the share button anymore. It's called the create button. They don't have any details on that right now, but I'm assuming
it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Thing. It just says create now instead of share.
Yeah, so it's a two-tone. It's white and black, and I think that it looks really cool. I'm really into it. But yeah, that's unfortunately all we have on their new console right now.
When I first saw it, I wasn't hot on it at all.
See, I'm not hot on it still. Like, I just saw it like an hour ago, but I'm not too hot on it myself.
I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck? It reminded me of, like, those Power A controllers that you can buy from the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that, but I don't know. I just like the two colors most of all.
See, I'm excited for what it's going to look like outside of those two colors.
Yeah.
Like, if you get, like, an all black one or an all white one, or hopefully they don't stick with that two-tone color. I mean, it looks fine. Like, the two colors are fine with me. When I started looking at it more and more and, like, reading about it and stuff, I think it's really cool. You should probably not expect to pay $60 for a controller anymore.
No.
All the enhanced features are definitely going to come for a bigger price tag. I think they're taking a page out of Nintendo's book.
So what do you think? What do you think it's going to cost?
I think it's going to be at least $80.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Least
too.
80.
I don't know. It's all that haptic shit. Like I don't know. I think it's for me. For me, it's the buttons. Like haptic buttons are kind of like wishy washy for me.
I thought their wording was really interesting. That they said that they adopted haptic feedback.
Sorry, I had to get my pesky ass cat out of here. It's gonna cause problems.
But yeah, like those buttons kind of, I don't know, they kind of freak me out.
I don't know. I mean,
Embrace the fear, Eddie.
Yeah.
it looks like a comfortable controller. They definitely look like they took some inspiration from the Xbox One controller. It's definitely wider, and it looks like it fits into your hands kind of more similar to like how an Xbox One would fit in your hand. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the main thing. Is I don't hate it anymore. I remember I was laying in bed when they first announced it, and I just remember going like, "Oh no, that doesn't look great at all."
The way that he reacted, because his back was turned to me, and like the way he reacted, I thought that like someone died.
It was just a part of him.
It's pretty clear that like that's kind of that aesthetic that they have for that controller, like the like sharp, angular, like futuristic, that tone of white, that tone of black. Like I think that's something that we should be looking at when we think of like what the PS5 is going to look like.
Right.
God, I hope the PS5 isn't two-toned, like two color toned. I think it'd be really ugly, but there's just something about like just having it being a one-colored console. I don't know. That's just me being nitpicky, but
yeah,
that's kind of what it's gonna look like. I think. I don't know.
One thing I really hope they fix with this controller is the fact that if you bump your controller in the slightest, it won't fast forward or rewind your Netflix.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever ran into that?
Yeah, I have.
Ugh.
It's
always.
it's YouTube for me.
In some actor news, Flash actor Ezra Miller is currently under fire for a video in which he apparently chokes out a woman in a bar.
I saw that.
And he throws her to the ground, shouting, "Do you want to fight?"
It's the guy that plays the Flash, right?
Yeah.
He was also on.
Did she?
I don't know if she wanted to fight or not. Variety confirms that this wasn't a joke, and apparently some fans saw him got extra pushy and led him to get thrown out by the staff. There's not much context. It's just like the video of him like pretty much just throwing her into the ground. So I mean, one, that's not a way to act towards anybody. Two, like even though I mean some fans do start to get pushy and shit, like I don't know, dude. Like use your better judgment, I guess.
Well, what did she do to him? No, I'm just kidding.
I really only have one thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's yikes.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt him a lot.
The yikes from me, dog.
Yeah, 3 yikes for me.
Rikers Island right there.
Going back to the DualSense for a minute. Fucking Xbox hoes mad.
Oh, Xbox hoes mad as hell.
Why?
Oh, it looks like our controller. Haptic feedback. We've had that first.
Hey, they gotta be mad though, because that's the only good fucking thing about their console.
Yeah.
Is that it actually has a form and a shape.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that I wanted to say that real quick before we went any further.
That's hilarious. Is everybody done? It's time for me, huh? Yeah. Last of Us Part 2 is delayed indefinitely, which means there is no release date whatsoever. And we don't know when the fuck we're gonna get this video game now.
They've
Which
been
is sad.
issuing refunds through the Sony store too, haven't they?
Yep, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Which makes me think that we're in for a longer wait than we think.
Yep.
Because if Sony is relinquishing money back to somebody, that's not a good sign.
Well, one thing that I read was that they did it because of the current climate the world is in right now, because they want everyone to experience it at the same time.
Welcome, Derek.
What's up?
I don't know. We're talking about The Last of Us Part 2 being delayed.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I think that part of it is Naughty Dog's perfectionism culture that they have. They don't want to release a game that wouldn't be up to their standards, which is why they delayed it in the first place.
Right.
And I just think it's kind of weird to me because I thought that they'd all be working from home, so it seems like maybe it would be all right. You know, maybe the whole working from home thing isn't working for Naughty Dog. I don't know. Didn't CD Projekt Red shut down their doors too? Like Cyberpunk's not even being worked on right now.
Yeah, I read something about that.
I could be totally wrong, but I thought that they shut their doors too. So maybe Naughty Dog's just following suit. I don't know. It's a weird move, but it's kind of something that I figured would happen. Like, and then there's the whole idea where it's what Angela was saying is that it's trying to include everybody all at once, and I don't think so. I think people were waiting for that video game. I think that was one of the games that people were probably going to buy. Like, that's the kind of game that people are saving all year for if they have
Right.
to.
Right.
I don't know. It's regardless what it is, it's really shitty because we can't play that game on what was it, like May 20 something.
Yeah.
That was next month too, so that would have been
mint. Fucking mint.
It sucks, whatever it is. It sucks because now we got a big long lull ahead of us, but more time to play Persona 5 and Doom and Resident Evil.
Dude, I've already... Okay, yeah, so I beat Resident Evil 3, and now I'm trying to play through it on hardcore. And I've already caught up to where I was in the original Persona 5 on Royal, which adds like almost an extra 10 hours on top of it in Royal. Like, I'm at my playtime's like 35 hours now. Yeah. Where when I saved it last time, it was like 30.
On Persona 5, you were at where you were at now.
Yeah, I caught up in Royal to where I was in the original game. So now everything that I play from here on out, I don't know about. So I'm not really
I'm so excited for you to experience it.
Oh man, I am balls deep in it right now.
I just met Jose in Mementos, so
he's a weird, I don't want to say kid, but he's not human, so I don't know what he is, but
You got something chasing you over there, Derek?
No, I was just looking at my background, just wondering like what I might be able to do to, spice it up a little, nerd it up a little.
Screen.
No, like I mean, I was thinking right here where that blank wall is, I could maybe, do a little Funko shrine there for the time being.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see that video where, or that it's not a video, it's a meme or like a picture where these workers are having like a video conference, and I guess their boss like put a potato filter on her, and she couldn't figure out how to switch it back, so she was just like that for the whole meeting.
That's great. That's pretty awesome.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so Cole, did you finish RE3 then?
I did. I finished the fuck out of that game.
Yeah, you did, you son of a bitch.
I finished the
I'm gonna have to steal that from you.
Yeah, I'm still having thoughts percolating on it. I think it's a great. I think it's a fantastic video game. I more and more think about it, and I'm more siding with the people saying that it is a touch too short.
Oh yeah.
Considering I can beat the game on Inferno in an hour and 6 minutes, that's a little weird. It's a little weird.
A little bit.
But those original games were never meant to be so long, but they did a lot of corner cutting in this one. Like,
Oh yeah.
you pretty much begin the game at the subway station, and that's like 1/3 of the original game that's been completely cut.
Oh wow.
And they kind of somehow like introduce little things here and there, like back into it from there. But like as an experience, it's cohesive and it works and it fits and the story is really good. I fucking love Jill Valentine. I think she's like the coolest fucking woman video game character ever. Like, I think she's rad. And then this one, it's my favorite portrayal of Jill Valentine like ever. She's fucking hilarious. She's badass. Like, she just the way that they've animated her having like actual weapons training. Like, she holds weapons like she's actually fucking been trained to hold weapons.
Oh hell yeah.
It's stuff like that that's really, really cool.
Nice.
They don't really do a lot with Nemesis, which is upsetting because he's a fucking tyrant I mean, obviously he is, but he's a real big troublemaker in that first half of the game.
He's a real son of a bitch.
Like,
Is what he is.
When you're playing it on
With those shenanigans
and Inferno, he doesn't. I mean, he's got that fast run that everyone's seen, that everyone's react to. On Nightmare and Inferno, he's like always in that, unless he's like right next to you, and if he's not, then he's like in constant sprint. He's a dick, bro. He's hardcore mode for Mr. X.
I was gonna say, if you hated Mr. X, then boy howdy.
Bitch can't.
See, like Mr. X more just, got my anxiety going just hearing those footsteps, I was like,
oh yeah, and with Nemesis, like, he's not chasing you in the sense that Mr. X did. Like, you won't hear his footsteps. He'll just show up.
Yeah, he'll just show up and you're running away from him.
Like that part, I almost threw my controller in the air at that part where after you turn on the subway power and you're going back and he crashes through the wall. I was like, Mother of God! Like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I don't know. He's just not utilized enough. Like, there's a time when it's a very obvious shift towards him not being into the picture as much. That's probably why they took the word Nemesis out of Resident Evil 3 for this one. So, I don't know. I do think that's a problem, but considering how short the game is, it just kind of works.
Right.
And, I mean, it took me 18 hours to platinum this game, which is really, really wild once you think about it. But I personally think that RE2 is a much better video game. I think you can probably... I mean, obviously, for viewers out there, anybody that hasn't already bought it, I think you're totally justified in waiting for a sale. Like,
yeah.
If you wanted to wait and get this game for like $30-$40, that's perfect. Like, and that's coming from someone who spent $200 on the collector's edition for this game, because I totally forgot that I pre-ordered that. Like really, you can. I mean, if you want to spend $60, you're totally fine. I love the game enough to platinum it. I think when you have the opportunity to platinum a game, I think you're automatically getting your $60 worth. But I personally think you'd be totally justified in waiting for $30-$40 to buy it. That's totally fine.
And we talked about it a while back when the game was first announced, and I remember saying that like that I had some concerns because it was coming out so fast after
Yeah.
RE2 that it might not live up to the expectation.
Well, see, and that's the thing though, is that RE2 was always kind of the golden child.
Mhm.
RE2, even back on the PlayStation 1,
Yeah.
RE1 when RE2 came out, everyone was in love with that game, and again in 1999, I think that's when RE3 came out.
Mhm.
It was just like a whoa, holy shit, they're already doing 3, and it was always just kind of looked at as just being a little inferior to 2.
Right,
And I
exactly.
think that's kind of how it is right now. But there's obvious that caveat that 2 and 3, the difference between 2 and 3 on PS1 was like maybe an hour
Mhm.
worth of content, and this one is pretty substantial. Like
Right.
even if you're like going through and doing like a lore run, you're
Mhm.
enjoying everything, you're looking for everything. That's what I did my first playthrough, and it took me just shy of 6.5 hours. So
All right.
So, my nerd news is about Cooking Mama Cookstar. So it was weirdly released, like and there are a bunch of rumors that like it had like a physical release, and it was on the Nintendo eShop, and then it was taken down shortly after. So what the rumors are is that it had software in the game that would mine your Switch for cryptocurrency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the devs behind it came out and said that's not true. But why did it get taken off the eShop? So
That's
it's
kind of
just
weird.
this weird mystery that everyone's talking about right now.
Just
yeah,
have-
it's just something that we'll have to report back onto, because it seems like a story in development, but it's really fucking weird.
Speaking of weird things, I obviously everyone's familiar with seeing weird shit from Wish on your Facebook page.
Mhm.
I came across a one Play Arts Kai figure on Wish for $67,
Wow.
and it had really good reviews,
Huh.
and it was sold out.
Oh, of course.
Or else I wouldn't have even cared if it showed up and it was like just his torso. Like
Like,
I would have been
wow.
all over that. Yeah. But yeah, I just was like, oh wow, okay.
If you look on eBay, bro, there's those prices for the new remake Play Arts Kai Cloud everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just barely earlier while I was at work actually. Shh, don't tell. I went on to Smy World, and ordered myself one of my personal Grail Funkos, a Brack from Space Ghost.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah, so now I will have the full set of Space Ghost that exists. There's no Moltar, which bothers me.
Yeah.
There's just Brack, Zorak, and Space Ghost.
That's rad, though.
But yeah.
Did I tell you or show you that I got the I don't know when it's gonna show up, but it's I got a Funko of David from Schitt's Creek, and then I got the Chase version of him.
I don't think you showed me, but
Oh.
yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I
that.
when the WWE Funkos hit the Walmarts here, I already told Eddie, but I was able to pick myself up a second Chase Glow Naomi.
That's
I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
But
well, on to the subject of the hour. WrestleMania 36 Part 1 started with Stephanie McMahon, inventor of women,
yep.
cutting a promo about the times that are going on and how we, they want to put on the best product ever just to kind of distract us from what's going on, kind of gives you that whole wrestling fan sense of pride. And then we cut to a supercut of a bunch of really famous people singing the national anthem. You had Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin and John Legend and, just a bunch of other people, singing the national
Some
anthem.
people that made me go, who?
Yeah.
So,
Same here. Same here.
So Cole was confused at what was happening, and I was like, they're just singing the national anthem. And he's like, that's not the national anthem.
Cole.
Oh, Cole.
Every opportunity she gets, she throws me into the bus. Every opportunity.
Well, wait. They weren't singing the national anthem, though, were they? They were singing America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful, that's true.
Oh, then I guess I was wrong.
So suck my dick.
Well, didn't they earlier though? I thought they had oh shit, what's her name? The ring announcer, Lillian. Didn't they have Lillian Garcia do the national anthem like earlier during the pre-show?
I think during the pre-show, yeah. After that supercut, we got the opening spot where everything was like super like dramatic and cliche, and then this like Jack Sparrow impersonator came in, and started like it was super meta and it was super self-aware, and I really liked it.
And I was telling you, Eddie, I was telling you this not too long ago, but like I feel I was when I told you I was talking about a specific match, but I feel like this really applies to the entire thing with the fact that there's no audience and they have the opportunity to pre-record things and edit things. They are fucking loving it. Like they're going straight on into that and just really barreling through going, well, let's do some fun, ridiculous shit that we normally don't do anymore.
Yeah. And it hit it out of the park. Rob Gronkowski started off hosting it. I wasn't too hot on this. Like I was not hot on the Broncos.
Like he's got
how he talks. Like
he's got a lot of energy, but somehow he's still so milquetoast.
He was wearing sunglasses inside.
Needs to get his guts up more.
You know what I mean? It was just super.
Y'all are just haters.
I'm sorry.
Look, he's fine. He doesn't bother me
job.
personally. He did a decent job, but he's just, I don't know, like, he could be jumping up and down screaming, and I would still be like, all right, whatever. He's not excitable.
Yeah, I don't know. I like him, but, like, did we need a Wrestlemania host?
No, we didn't. Not at all. Not even in a little bit. Not. I mean, who hosting for who? Like, but it was what it was. We started off with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors for the SmackDown Women's title. This, to take a quote from Wrestle Talk, this was a super throaty match. Like it sounded like lady tennis.
Well, I mean, that's just how Asuka is. She's her new character. She's just always yelling. Like, remember when she was a guest commentator and she was just screaming and King's just like, I know what you're saying. Like,
I totally agree with you.
I personally
screaming in Japanese.
I thought it was super obnoxious. Like,
I did too.
I like Asuka. I like her wrestling, and I like her bravado as it is.
Mm-hmm.
When I can hear her, I want nothing to do with it.
Well, and on top of all of that, I mean, there wasn't anything amazing about the match to distract from all of that. Like, the match was fine. It was all right, but, like, it was very humdrum, and there wasn't, so that was your focus. All these noises was the focus because there wasn't anything else to be excited about.
And I mean, the match itself was super physical, which is usually not the type of match that the WWE allows for the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like when Kairi Sane did that double stomp onto what's her face's face.
Yes.
And then they did that Canadian Destroyer or whatever, where you have them on the top and you do the thing. I mean, it was super fun. It was physical, but there was just nothing to it. Like it was a like we always say, it was a great Raw match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could have done this on Monday Night Raw and it wouldn't have been
Exactly.
any different.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get it out of the way. My highlight was when I think Alexa, one of the two, was trying to pin Asuka, and Kyrie hit him with the insane elbow while she was pinning him.
Oh yeah, that
That
was
was my favorite part right there, because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about like her insane elbow, but she just throws everything into it, and I love watching her do that.
Well, and just the way that she sets her body when she's, coming off in the air, like it's just so picturesque.
Yeah.
It's great,
it
Like
looks
the way
a
she
lot more.
moves.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It looks a lot more physical than it is, and that's what
Yeah.
I think makes it run. Our ranking system is just COVID 5 through 1.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're welcome.
So which one is worst? Is it COVID 1?
Yeah.
Or do
Yeah.
you want the COVID 1?
Yeah, COVID 1's the worst.
Okay.
Can I get a COVID 1?
Yeah.
Does it come with fries?
So Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross win the titles. And I think this is mainly because Kairi Sane's contract's about to expire and she's not looking to re-sign with the WWE.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I knew that was gonna upset you a little. Angela. So what she's thinking about is actually returning to the all-women's Japanese promotion Stardom. She probably feels like she gets a better opportunity there. I mean, they really haven't done much with her besides give her a strap and just kind of have her there in the background.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, this is why, but I was expecting them to keep the titles because for that exact reason, like they just haven't really done anything with them, So I was actually a little surprised that they had the title switch over. I mean, knowing what you just said though, Eddie, then obviously that makes a lot of sense, but
I gave this a COVID 3. I mean, the match was fun. It was physical. It was very clean. There wasn't very many botches.
I didn't even notice any really.
I think there was like one, but like it was super minute. I think it could have been better as a Raw match. I think it would have been a lot more exciting as a Raw match. So I gave it a 3. COVID 3.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that'll be for me as well.
Me too.
Yeah, it was serviceable. It was good, but it wasn't special.
They're also making Asuka look like super weak lately. And
yeah, especially after having her had such a long undefeated streak and everything, and like, oh, no one's ready for Asuka until now, because who cares?
yeah,
She's 0-2 at WrestleMania right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because like if you lose your first match at WrestleMania, all of your momentum just goes away.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it with Sheamus, we've seen it with a couple other wrestlers. Once you lose your first Mania match, they kind of just toss you off to the wayside,
which
is really
is so
fucked
weird
up.
to me because like they obviously thought you were good enough to have a WrestleMania match, and it's scripted, so you losing shouldn't affect your momentum.
Right, exactly.
But then they're like, "Oh well, you lost. Fuck you." Well, you
Yeah.
made me lose. It was in the script. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
The next match was a snooze fest. Elias versus Corbin. It was just too fast. It just happened like it was just like, all right, here, have this 5-minute match where the baby face wins by cheating. I'm just like, it's just it throws away that whole week and a half feud that they had.
See, I don't know. For me, in terms of cheating, grabbing shorts is like nothing. Like to me, that's not even worth looking at it, in my opinion, as cheating. As opposed to all of the other more egregious ways to show cheating and underhandedness. Like, especially with the fact that that I'm looking at Piggy.
Sorry.
Especially with the fact that Corbin just tried to cheat and then he reversed and cheated and won. To me, I don't have a problem with that.
Turnabout, fair game with all that.
Especially because Elias has never been a baby face.
It's true.
You know. So, for me, that was a
feeling-
non-issue.
I was feeling a 4, but considering the fact it's Corbin, I'm gonna knock off a point.
I mean, I want to give it a point because Corbin lost.
Well, that's why it was a 4.
But it included Corbin.
But it included Corbin, so
Yeah.
rules is rules.
Which, by the way, like, that was the first moment where I realized, wow, WWE is really gonna go full bore into the like the pageantry of editing when they did the what was it? Was it just last week where they did the thing where where Corbin knocks Elias off the railing. They do that quick cutaway, and then the somebody hit a side of beef off screen, and then Elias is laying on the ground. I was like, oh hell yeah, dude!
I
gonna do it.
Cole's been calling out a lot of the slow-mos and the cutaways and stuff. He's like they didn't even hit each other.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it, but like the most egregious one of like the entirety of WrestleMania
was Seth Owens and
no, it was Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Yeah. When he did that mega fall, he did not even hit Seth Rollins.
He bumped his shoulder.
He did not. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here going like,
I mean, that's pretty common. Like, that happens a lot. Like, if somebody's trajectory is off, I don't know why, but the other person just continues to stand where they were. They don't, like, I mean, I guess it would look kind of silly if they intentionally moved into the way, but but yeah, they just kind of stand there and go, "Oh, you got my arm. I've got to fall over completely now."
Yeah.
I think that I need to try and make, and it all depends on if I can get the picture of Corbin like right before Elias falls off the railing, but I gotta make a "Long Live the King" meme.
Yeah. So
just where he's like,
"Long live the king."
So for me, I really didn't like this match. This match was probably, for part one, worst match of the night for me. So I'm gonna give it a 2.
This match was bupkis.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a 3 because I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was okay. There weren't like a lot of issues in the match. And I don't know. I keep going back and forth on this, but I feel like it was kind of blessedly short. Like, I feel like if they had made it go longer, it would have been worse. I love Elias.
That's how a lot of the matches.
Like, I love Elias, and I think Elias is a great wrestler, but I hate Corbin so much that, like, the shorter it is, the better.
I agree, but I honestly, like, I think it just, I don't know, it just cheapened Elias for me.
Yeah, I mean, they don't ever give Elias anything. So.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just dumb, and I really wish it hadn't happened at all. Just,
I will go ahead and say I'm on the COVID 3, but I'm going to say 3.5 because anything that has to do with Corbin not winning is a smidge point.
What about y'all two?
I'm gonna give it a 3 just because that man needs to get some pants that fits better.
A 3.
We gotta give him.
Well, like, and does anybody else find this weird that Elias wears his knee pads under his jeans?
So
like,
Cole
why
called that out.
Like that's the weirdest thing to me. Like why?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand if it was like under the tights or whatever, you know what I mean? Because that's what a lot of wrestlers do. But it was dumb. It was,
Yeah, like under jeans it just looks bulky and weird and
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's just, my God, bro. Let's get some pants that fit.
You were looking at his butt, weren't you?
he was.
Big time.
He was, and he's
Big time.
not
It was
happy
hard
about
not
it.
to. Anyway,
How dare you make me confront my sexuality?
He must work
very
out.
open. I'm very open. I'm an open book.
No, yeah, of course.
The next match, which was I think the shortest match.
Hey, you scoot back. You kicked Angela
All right.
out of the show.
Good.
Okay.
Bad mood today.
So the shortest match of the night was Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, which, according to Wrestle Talk and the very reliable Wrestle Votes,
All right, I made the meme.
Focus.
This was actually supposed to be the main event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but since they can cut and they can edit and they can do all of the nonsense or whatever, like Vince was like, nah, let's not make it the main event, and it opened the second hour. So I guess take from that what you will.
Buried.
Yeah. It was super hard hitting right at the beginning. Like, Becky and Shayna, you could tell that they were hella mad at each other. You could tell it was one of those vicious blood feud, anger ridden, like just fucking balls to the wall. So the story was super well told, and Shayna dominated like most of the match. The thing that I have a problem with was the cheap roll up victory.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if Becky was supposed to win, you should have like
mounted a comeback.
Yeah,
like,
something. Like it was just not something that it just made Becky look weak, and it made Shayna Baszler look even weaker.
mhm.
And for Shayna Baszler to be such a dominating force, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and they were obviously trying for the opposite. Like I feel like that's why they did the cheap win and having Shayna dominate most of the match is so that they could be like, well, she won, but Shayna's still a badass.
and
But
like
it didn't pay off. It didn't have that effect.
it didn't know. And for somebody as dominating as Becky Lynch to kind of eke out a victory,
Yeah.
if you want to elongate the feud, but don't cheapen that shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I gave it a 2. I was just not impressed.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a higher because this is one of the matches that I was excited for, but it just, like you said, it just wasn't a lot there. Like they hyped this match up like super hardcore, to the point where blood was literally drawn at one point.
Right, yeah.
And
well, blood pack.
yeah.
Blood-
But wait, that wasn't real?
Nick, I've got something to tell you.
Wrestling and
brace,
script.
brace yourself. But,
No,
Anyway.
no.
Yeah, I can't decide between a 2 or a 3, so I'll go 2.5.
With how
I
much
kept-
they hyped it up, it's a 2.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. Like, I kept it, like, personally for this match, I kind of just looked at the match itself. I wasn't thinking of any of the stuff leading to it. The match as an isolated thing, I kept as a 3.
Angela?
a 2, definitely.
So the next match was Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan in what is probably I don't know, like, it was great, but it wasn't great at the same time.
It was great, but the end was bad.
Didn't Sami Zayn win it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole was like really into this match, and then as soon as Sammy won, he was like, "No!"
That's great. No, that's
I
great.
wanted as much as much pain as humanly possible to be inflicted to Sami Zayn.
Which he did, dude. Like Daniel Bryan fucked him up. You know what I mean?
But he didn't win.
But the
you
payoff.
didn't want the Castro, the Ska Castro to win?
It caused me physical pain
Scastro.
to watch him run the fuck
Scastro.
away from Daniel Bryan.
So, I mean, obviously they're just trying to elongate their feud. Like that was really clear to me. Because they're, what they're going to do, I'm sure, is they're going to have some point where Daniel Bryan is going to go, okay, well, let's have a cage match so your goons can't join in. And they're going to do, who knows, maybe they'll end it there, hopefully.
No, dude, I'm thinking I'm thinking Money in the Bank, no holds barred match so that everybody can get involved, and then the pay-per-view after will be the cage match so that he doesn't have to, they have to hold off for another couple months, especially in these times where people are getting injured, people don't want to work because they're sick. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It was, I don't know, but for me the match was actually fun because Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan are probably two of the best actors on the roster right now. Everything that they do or anything that they perform with, you feel like you don't question it, you don't second guess it or anything. Like they just go out, they perform, and you eat it up.
By the way, are you feeling? Because I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that they're kind of trying to slowly edge Bryan back into a babyface role.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With him and Gulak, I think honestly that was probably the best thing that they could have done.
And I'm so glad that they finally went, all right, this heel shit isn't working at the moment. Let's scrap that.
Go eat a cheeseburger, dude.
Yeah, let's scrap the whole, what is it? What was he calling himself? The Planet's Champion.
Yeah.
Let's scrap this whole Planet's Champion garbage and just go back to babyface. So I'm glad they did that.
Say what you will about Sami Zayn, but his entrance song gets me super hyped. It makes
no sense with who he is, though.
I know, yeah. No, it's true. It
not at all.
When I think it was 2K18, my creative character had his theme song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
To the point where when I would watch pay-per-views and the song came out, and they're like, my kids would be like, "Dad, that's your song."
No, that's Sami Zayn's song. Daddy just stole it.
Yeah.
Does it look like Sami Zayn's kind of been physically letting go on training a little bit?
Yeah.
By the way,
I think that's why he didn't really wrestle much. I think he just took those bumps because he's super rusty. He hasn't been around for a year before he came back. So I mean, it was kind of. I think it was just kind of one of those feeler.
Yeah.
Matches. So I don't know. I think he kind of let himself. Yeah, it's a 3 for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
The next match was probably match of the night for me, of part 1, which was the triple threat ladder match between John Morrison, Jimmy or Jey Uso, and
it was Jim.
Yeah,
Jimmy?
One of them.
Because they said James.
Okay, yeah.
Or Jimmy's short for James.
Jimothy.
But this match from start to finish was the shit.
I mean, first of all, you can't have a ladder match and have those people in it without it being fucking awesome.
I just love that there were ladders everywhere.
Morrison is so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. My highlight was when he did that Starship Pain.
Yep, that's what I was going to say when he did it onto the ladder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my it wasn't really a big moment, but it kind of made me chuckle a little bit is when um, Jimothy was getting up and he was trying to pull the ladder back up and it like almost fell on top of him. He was like pulling it up and he's like, oh, and he like had to push it back into position.
I mean, they all do, right. Like, I mean, these are the like elite ladder match dudes. You know what I mean? I mean, even John Morrison back when he was Johnny Nitro during Eminem. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was him or the other dude, but remember when the Hardys came down, hit the ladder, and it came up, and broke his nose. Like, you just showers of blood and still finished the match, which was hella rad. But yeah, like honestly, this match made me want a crowd so bad.
And the end of it was so just funny and cheeky, and like I really liked that. It was great.
Yeah,
just both of them at the top of the ladder going, "Fuck."
Yeah. So the match ends with all three of them on top of the ladder, and a double headbutt sends Morrison flying, but he ended up with the titles in hand. So the titles, and it was just so cool to see how they just flailed about.
One of them fell. So and when he fell, he only had one of them, but that counted for the win.
Well, yeah, because he came off with both of them, but like immediately dropped one.
Yeah, and then after he fell, like camera pans up and Jimmy and Kofi are both holding like the strap that held the belts, and they're like trying to kind of fight over that. Like,
honestly, that was like my only criticism for this match is that there wasn't a crowd, because if you could just imagine, like everybody would have gone nuts. You know, this is awesome chants. Holy shit chants. Like, I wanted a crowd for this so bad. I gave it a 5. I think this was match of the night for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
I also give it a 5. It was the most engaged I've seen Cole get in wrestling.
I mean, it was just wildly entertaining.
Yeah.
Like it just was.
Yeah, Cole clapped when Morrison won. So.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, Morrison is so dynamic and just fast and explosive. Like, you don't want to take your eyes off of him because you're gonna miss something. You know, like that's really cool. That like you don't want to stop watching him.
Charlie.
He's a good boy, Charlie.
Charlie, get me.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I talk to him like that. That's all it reminds me of.
That hurt, Charlie.
That's enough. Sit.
What's the next match?
It was. Hold on, sorry.
Oh, are we talking predictions as well? Because we haven't been really mentioning our predictions.
Well, obviously not anymore. We've already gone through most of it. The next match was Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins for.
I'll tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I explained my grievance beforehand.
You gotta air your grievances.
I thought it was a great match. I love how he brought it back in after the end. I love the use of the bell.
That was so fun. I liked that a lot.
It is a 4 out of 5. I have to go relieve myself. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Please continue onward. I love the match.
I think it was that too. And my highlight of the match for that one was when he jumped off the Wrestlemania sign. Like,
dude, that was so
amazing.
Great.
And for a match to be like, it was fun, but it wasn't personal as far as like the feud goes.
Yeah.
So for it to have been so knock around and so, you know what I mean? So just explosive. I think it was a super fun match to watch, especially once it got turned into a no disqualification.
Yeah.
match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the story that they had been leading up with. Like, it was supposed to. You were supposed to feel that it was a very personal match for Kevin Owens, at least
Right.
from his vantage point. So like, I liked that whole thing, and especially when they did the DQ restart, that was absolutely awesome.
Oh, by the way, like up until a month ago, I had, and this just might show how oblivious I've been to wrestling until I started getting back into it again. I had no idea that JBL was the Acolytes Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't?
Like,
No.
Yeah, no,
zero
because
idea.
he had like jet black, like that
Yeah,
dyed
and he had
black long
goatee.
hair. Yeah.
The-
Oh yeah.
And then I
No,
was watching. I was
I
watching
didn't know that
a.
for a while either.
I was
Like,
watching a video, and they were talking about like people that hated characters that they were assigned, and Ron Simmons was one of them because he went like, all over the place. And then they were like, and then Bradshaw, who later, turned into JBL, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Dude, I actually really loved the JBL
See,
character.
and that's
Yeah.
and I think Bradshaw is partially why I really don't like JBL, because JBL is, to me, I mean, I know he's funny and cheeky, but to me, he's so much more boring than fucking Bradshaw.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're comparing the two, yeah, but as a
And
character,
that's my problem, is that I always compare the two.
yeah, and see, for me, JBL was probably one of the coolest heels. I mean, him and Rey Mysterio, him and Eddie Guerrero, like those feuds were so
Plus,
cool.
Yeah.
you cannot, like, there's nobody that had a better clothesline than JBL. Like,
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
you're
yeah.
put out when you get hit by that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's like, yeah, the clothesline from hell is probably the best clothesline finisher.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins goes, I give that one a 4. I think
Yeah,
it was
I was gonna go
super,
with 4 as well.
it was
I
super
mean,
exciting. It was super engaging, but I mean, I don't know. It wasn't quite a 5 for me.
I don't know. For me, I feel like the 5 really is deserved just for that awesome old school off the sign jump. Like, I that kind of pushes it up to a 5 for me.
I think they did very well in calling back to old Attitude Era stuff. I think with the
They
ring
did.
bell, with jumping off the Wrestlemania sign, and it was funny
Yeah,
because
the
Kevin,
few curses that they did, like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
I think it is funny because like Kevin Owens said that before all of this went down with the coronavirus, um, he had plans. Charlie, he had
that hut.
he had plans to jump off the boat in Tampa because the place where they were going to wrestle had this
Oh
giant pyro,
man!
and so
Oh.
he had even taken pictures of the thing to make sure like he like knew where he could jump off from. That would be
Yeah.
super rad. But since they didn't or whatever, he
They
chose
should
the
they
next
should
day.
have still just held it in the stadium just with nobody there. Like, it
Yeah.
just
So by the way, one of the bones I have to pick, kind of with WrestleMania at this time, I get that there wasn't an audience, but I feel like not only did WWE take this opportunity to do something cool and have fun with those, like the Taker match and the Firefly Funhouse match and all that kind of stuff, but they also took that opportunity to cut corners and not do pyro, not do anything extravagant.
Mhm.
And that's not Wrestle-fucking-Mania.
yeah, Edge didn't get any pyro. I thought he was
No
gonna
one
get.
did.
I thought at least Edge was gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Becky
to
Lynch
me,
got her steam.
Yeah,
she got, well, Steam, yeah. But like, to me, I mean, that
anyone gets.
to me, it was just a really cool Raw.
Yeah, I agree. So I did a 4. Derek, you said 5. Nick.
And everybody else said 4, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm 4.
Okay. So we end night 1 with the boner yard match. I had to put it in there. It was nice. Anyway, the boneyard match.
There's those boneyard Bloody Marys.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think this was super, super cool.
It was fun as fuck and really kitschy and just it was great for me.
It was. I think it was.
I did not want that Undertaker though. Like I wanted
American Badass.
I wanted the Undertaker. Like
so
right.
to me, American Badass is Undertaker light, and that's always how I viewed it.
American Badass is just Mark Calloway. Like that's just him. Like
well, no, I know. That's why I say it's Undertaker light.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
it's not the really cool Undertaker. Like I don't know anybody whose favorite Undertaker is American Badass.
Right, but I mean it fits the thing. I think it fits the narrative. You know what I mean? Especially because earlier, like in
the
earlier
pirate, he's an outlaw, like that kind of thing, or
well, like I mean, just before the match even started, when he was doing promos and stuff, he already had like the bandanas on and stuff.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, for him not to show up as American Badass was.
But like, I don't understand why they went that direction in the first place. Because AJ Styles over and over again was like, "No, I want the real Undertaker. I want the Undertaker." Like, to me, the real Undertaker is the OG Undertaker. Like, that's
But like, getting American Badass to come back just kind of proves that he's like, I don't need to be that Undertaker to whoop your ass.
I can see that, and I can also, now that you mentioned the whole narrative, Eddie, I think it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like, oh, you're calling out Mark Calloway, so Mark Calloway is going to show up and kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be like, I'm not going to give you what you want just because you're asking for it.
Give me what I want!
Right.
You're going to talk about how old I am?
Yeah.
You're going to talk about my wife?
By the way, did you watch the Undertaker's, what was it, the 24 that they had right after it?
That was such a cool one.
That was really cool. I love how he's just so candid. But anyway, continue.
That match was super cool. Just how they all went about it. I loved how AJ dominated the match for most of the time because it doesn't make him look weak at the end of it all. You know what I mean? Like, so him having a loss.
This one they did much better at making it so that he was not just dominant, but like. He didn't really. It's hard to feel like he went out like a punk because it's Undertaker. He sits up when you think he's passed out. Like, that's his shtick. So like it didn't feel weird like the Shayna Baszler one.
Yeah, exactly. This match actually, through all of the editing, the director for all of the promos and things for NXT was the one that was like super involved in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It took them 8 hours to do this one. Yeah, so it was.
I mean, I can see that. I can see that. Like the theatrics were so fucking great.
It was amazing, dude.
It was.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It was. I loved it, and I don't know if this is fact or not, but when Undertaker punched the car window. That wasn't scripted. That he was going to be all cut up and stuff. And he's like, look what you made me do. You made me bleed.
Yeah.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody.
But yeah, no, I loved it, and there were like, it was just, I thought it was really well like put together, and
it was.
Like there was still like humor in it because AJ Styles is humorous, obviously.
Yeah, and it totally took me back to like the old Kane matches on the pier, and fucking Gold Dust matches, like where they would wind up outside of whatever arena they were.
Those were my absolute favorite in the Attitude Era, especially the one where what was it? Stone Cold and The Rock were fighting on the bridge, and he threw the Rock off the bridge, but it's just, you can tell it's just this dummy, like, falling from the bridge into the river.
Or my personal
Hey,
favorite.
hold up 2 seconds, will you? Knock it the fuck off.
Go to bed.
No more. I'm tired of this shit.
My personal favorite, the Stone Cold and Booker T in the grocery store.
Yeah, dude, that was so fun. Yeah, the match was very well done. It made Undertaker look great. I think that matches like these should be matches that Undertaker does. Like, the in-ring matches are just so not just unpredictable, but they tax him. They tax him so hard. So I give this a 5.
Yeah, it's a 5.
I gave it a 5. You know, it kind of, just like the way everything was set, it kind of reminded me of those old Stephen King library commercials, like where, like, because they had this like campy little like miniature set where it was like a graveyard and they'd have smoke come up. Like, it totally reminded me of that shit. It was so funny.
There was a joke that I made because when AJ
Send them all.
What?
Send them all.
Send them all.
When AJ was about to bury Undertaker showed up
burying
behind him. Yeah. So Cole made that joke, but so Undertaker showed back up behind AJ on the
with that light.
Yeah.
That was so
and then when Taker was trying to bury AJ, I made a joke that Undertaker would be behind Undertaker because he's got like different personas. I was like, is he going to show up behind himself?
That'd be so funny. And then he choke slams himself, gets in the thing. I want to bury this bitch.
Yeah, buries both of them together.
I was gonna say that, like, watching that, I also give it a 5, and watching, I'm like, oh, I wonder, you know, where they're filming this, what kind of closed set or whatever. But then you see, like, in the background, you see cars driving by. It's like they just literally went somewhere out in the open and just did this. And I'm like, okay, that just gives it that little, like, you know, they're not trying to do this on a closed set or whatever. They're actually out doing that.
There was a Twitter post that was like, Undertaker just drove from Texas all the way to Florida to fuck up AJ Styles, and he was back at home in Texas by 8 to have dinner and fuck his wife.
Well, like, and I don't know, that whole thing was just well choreographed, fun, super self-aware. Like, all of those cheesy ass lines were just the icing on the cake, dude. It was so great.
You wanted this. You wanted this.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, you wanted this.
Oh, and then when the
So
Good
much
Brothers
nostalgia.
got involved, and he was just tearing through him, like, he like choke slammed one of them off of the roof.
So wait, so who were those guys?
The Good Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, Gallows and Anderson.
Or no, like, so sorry, no, who were like all of the hooded figures? Because
that's the Dark Order from AEW.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. They were just dudes, apparently.
Well, because I mean, that's the thing, though. I feel like those dudes should have been on Undertaker's side because, you know, it's the Undertaker. Like, that part I was like, okay. But that was like, everything else was just great.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and that caps night 1. Night 2, we get the repeated promo and the repeated intro, and
which I kind of actually liked. Like,
yeah, I did.
Where they're all in like action scenes, and they got like, I'm like, they should be in movies like that.
I mean, I guess that's where they spend all their money. They were like, you know what, fuck Pyro, let's just do this.
Yeah. Edge was in Vikings, right? Like, let's just do that. And so we started it off with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley Bay for
God, I love
Which
it.
almost became Rhea Nipley.
Yeah,
yeah,
See that?
yeah,
See
I did.
that?
Got pretty close a few times.
yeah.
I know. I nearly passed out. I was like,
They
Oh,
both
it's so gross.
they bo-
She's
they
so
both
nasty.
worked.
she is hot as
No,
fuck.
she's not.
Yes,
She
she is.
absolutely is.
They worked an incredible match. I think that these two were so good, and it had the to me it had the adverse effect of Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because with Becky retaining, it was super cheap, but with Charlotte Flair, it's going to breathe a whole new life into the women's division in NXT, especially because it's getting pretty gutted in there.
Well,
What
and
with
how long has Rhea had the belt?
She hasn't had it for long. She's only had it for a few months, like maybe 3 or 4 months. But I think that it was super good. It was super stiff, which I really liked. Flair chops and the
Dude,
chop.
those were some heavy chops.
Yeah, and like
Like she actually did them right.
right, exactly.
I was excited.
Fucking like the chop block that she did to Rhea's leg that kind of started off the whole working of it. If you notice, it was off to the side and not through the back like they usually do.
Oh yeah, she actually she took the
yeah.
brunt of that, and that could not have felt good.
I think it was super super cool. It didn't make Rhea Ripley look weak. It didn't. I wanted Rhea Ripley to win, of course, because she is NXT and she's
I totally wanted Rhea to win. To me, like, I mean, I guess I get what you're saying about it breathing new life, etc. But to me, I'm like, no, why the fuck should Charlotte doesn't need another goddamn belt.
Yeah, anytime you put Charlotte in a championship match, or any match, like it's gonna.
Yeah,
she's gonna win it.
I'm kind of sick of this.
I think so. From what I heard,
she's Ric Flair's son. She's got it.
I know. Ric Flair's boy won another belt.
So the thing about why Charlotte's been winning so much lately is that about maybe a year ago, after her last championship run, they had promised her all of these wins and they didn't deliver. Like she went on like a losing streak. And so now, especially now after Ric Flair donated like a bunch of money to the Performance Center, they're like, "Oh, well, I guess we'll give you some wins now and stuff." So she's been winning all of her matches lately.
Not how sportsmanship works.
Well, it is though.
That's exactly how sportsmanship works.
Yeah, it's like high school students getting on the football team or the basketball team because their parents are on the PTA.
Board. Yeah. So I mean,
tell you what, Ric Flair. Tell you what, Vince McMahon.
Here we go.
Tell you what, WWE.
Go on.
It's yucky. Oh, this is yucky.
That was quite the build up there.
I know that was a lot of build up for. I feel let down.
I don't like this. I don't like this woman with the refrigerator body and really nice tits looking at me.
Well, they're one of them.
They're a little wonky.
Yeah, but you can't have nice tits and then have like literally nothing else.
Yeah, like I think her boobies are fine, but if you look at her from behind, like it's just like flat.
Bro.
Her boobs only look okay when she's wearing a top. Like if you go and look at like the nudes of her online, like whoa.
Which is the exact opposite of what should happen.
They're bad.
They should look good without anything on, but
right. They should be like Nazis, like straight ahead.
It's like she's.
It's like somebody took two different sized Jello molds and somehow adhered it to like a refrigerator box, and that's it. That's
how like they're supposed to point forward no matter what. Like she could go to the side, and they'd still have to like point this way.
Finger guns.
Yeah.
Hey.
Pew, pew.
The next, I gave this
match.
I gave this match a 4 just because of like if you put together like all of the. What are you doing over there?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm showing her the nudes.
Oh.
I know what he's doing over there.
Never know what he's doing over there. Anyway, I give this match a 4 because like all of the story behind it was pretty well built. I think the match was very entertaining, very, very Flair appropriate. It was just super Smash Mouth, super hardcore, and it didn't make Rhea Ripley look bad, so I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
It was a 5 out of 5 for me, but Charlotte, that was a 4 out of 5 for me.
I don't know. I feel like I want to give it a 3.5 just because, just because of my preference, and I'm sick of Charlotte, like super sick of Charlotte.
I hear you there.
So
She's mesmerized by the boobs.
It's a train wreck.
It's just,
So the next match was Bobby Lashley and Aleister Black. I could have done without this match.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it wasn't needed at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, this match really didn't need to happen.
Like, had they even did they do any build-ups for this? I don't even remember.
No.
Okay.
It was it had just gotten announced on SmackDown, and it was like, all right, well,
There's no feud, right?
yeah,
There's no feud there.
There was no feud there, and they just fuck it and did it live.
yeah, that was one thing that Cole was like, did I miss something? Like, what's their beef? And I was like, there is no beef.
Like, I hate that man now.
That was like my favorite instance of that.
There's no feud there.
They just said fuck it and did it live. So, I mean, that match was a 1 because not only was it like sloppy, it just kind of fucking happened. And
it made no one look good.
No,
Neither one of them looked good.
Yeah, no. And I mean,
how do you make Aleister Black not look awesome?
Right, because he's such a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah.
So I gave this match a 1. Like, this match was probably worst match of night 2 for me.
Yeah, I'll echo that. It's a 1 for sure. Just didn't need to happen.
I'll go as far as a 2 just because I always enjoy watching Aleister Black no matter what.
But did you guys see the beef on Raw where I can't remember her name?
I haven't watched Raw yet. I was a little
I haven't watched it.
wrestled out for a second there.
So one of the interviewed Bobby Lashley, and she was like, "What do you think of all of this? Like about like the manager and your wife?" And he's like, "I don't know. I need a new manager or I need a new wife." And it's
that's right.
like,
because they're trying. I forgot at the end of that match they're kind of trying to get rid of that angle finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, because after WrestleMania, everything just kind of resets. So you'll see new people, you'll see new,
it's a new season.
See new story. Yeah, it's a new season.
Do you think we'll get a Lana and Rusev reconciliation?
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, those two play really well off of each other, I feel.
I agree.
I would love them to just give Lana her Russian accent back.
What happened to him?
With no word whatsoever. No explanation. Just all of a sudden she's Russian again.
Yeah, I think Rusev's, they haven't figured out a contract renegotiation yet.
Okay.
So Rusev's just kind of out of the picture for now.
I gotta have my Rusev day.
Right?
I know, right?
Next match, which was, I think, match of the night for me, match of night 2, was Otis versus Ziggler.
1000%.
See, I was afraid they were gonna drag it on further, but I'm so glad the story ended there.
It was,
and it was really well. This was one of for this year. This is probably my storyline of the year.
Agreed.
Because they did it right. They didn't drag it on forever, and it had a very natural feeling progression.
See, and I hadn't watched anything the most recent Raws and SmackDowns leading up to WrestleMania, so I got the recap of what the envelope was, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. I
Did
think
not expect that.
it was super well done. I think
It
that
was. It was a very well told story.
not only that, but WWE did something that they don't normally do, which is showcase tag team wrestlers as singles competitors.
Mhm.
Otis really shined through as a capable singles competitor.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that was super cool. Ziggler's always been a great singles competitor. Ziggler, I've echoed this many times. Ziggler being one of the most underrated superstars.
Oh yeah.
In the
And
WWE.
Not to
Easily.
mention one of the best heels, like
Yeah, absolutely.
ever.
One
Oh
of the
yeah,
best
he's
heels.
so detestable. Like when
Yeah.
he's
He
a
is.
heel. Like he's not like humdrum and like, ooh, I hate everything. Like, but he's so engaging as
He's
just this
he's not a Corbin.
awful. No, he is not a Corbin. He is not an Olive Garden waiter or
No.
manager. Like he is very engaging as a heel or as
Really
a baby
good at
face.
being bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
He's versatile though too.
yeah. End of the match. We saw Mandy Rose come out after I keep forgetting Sonya Deville's um, interference, and it's
Ziggler hit Otis with a low
yeah,
blow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that
And
was
that
due
was
to-
so great, dude. I loved again, turnabout is fair play. I loved when she comes out, does the same thing to Ziggler.
right,
That was
and
great.
then Caterpillar for the win. Otis gets the girl. They have a nice little kiss at the end. It was a neat little bow.
It was
I-
perfect.
I was not expecting that at the end.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, okay, he's just gonna carry off, and then like they started kissing, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
It was, and they kiss like it wasn't one
Yeah.
of those like
Yeah.
one hit kisses where that's
No,
longer.
that was
They was getting. I was getting jealous of Otis. That's pretty
I
much
know,
what
right?
that was.
I was getting
Um,
jealous of Mandy.
It didn't hurt that she came out looking fine as
Right?
Doesn't she
Right?
come out looking fine as fuck?
I know,
though?
but this was
Not
a
only-
little extra though. This
Not
was
only
like
did
oh,
she
yeah.
look good, but Sonya Deville was looking good too.
yeah.
Have
Sonya
you-
Deville.
Have you looked back at when Sonya first came in with her like super tight cornrows? Like she looked so stupid and she's so fucking fly. And I love the way she does her shit now. Like she looks so much better.
Yeah.
Not that that's important, but
Right.
this is
I give
match
I
of
give this
WrestleMania for me.
Yeah, I think I gave this match a 5. I think this
Mhm.
match was super well done. It wasn't botchy. It was
No, it was
evenly paced. It had all of the storyline conclusion that you wanted, and it was a happy match. That
It was.
I also liked how, like, not only when Ziggler came out, like Sonya came out with him. Like, it's the two people that like ruined everything. They're like, yeah, we might as well hook
Yeah.
up now.
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, no,
and-
five for me.
I loved when Ziggler, when Mandy came out, he's like, "You're ruining everything."
Yeah, so 5s all around. The next match, which I hear is still going on to this day, Edge and Orton, the last man standing match. So this match could have gone without the middle 20 minutes. I think that this would have been a great 20-minute match.
Here's my take on it. So this match resembled like those old school like stock market graphs that you see where it's up and down, up and down. Like there was a lot of just kind of them trudging around. I personally
Like that's
really
what it's supposed to be about.
I
It
personally
was so long.
enjoyed
was.
really enjoyed this match, but
I did too.
like some highlights for me are when Orton hit the DDT off of the top of the truck. Like,
You're right.
that was
into-
really
into the
clever.
truck bit. Yeah, I
Really
think
clever.
honestly, like the first 10 minutes of the match and the last 10 minutes of the match would have been fine. Those extra 15 minutes of just
Yeah.
filler, because I mean, there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean? Like as far as and especially in the area where they were, like you couldn't really like there wasn't much to do. And so
For me, it was like they had these parts where they were kind of just slapping each other around, but each area that they were in, like, kind of had its own little highlight. Like when
Yeah,
they
it
were
had one of those
Yeah.
little
when they're in
moments.
the weightlifting room, when Orton had the dumbbell and Edge drop kicked him, or when they're in the meeting room and Edge like climbed up on the cage and like elbow dropped him.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
From
just
the
those little,
ceiling. That was
yeah,
so fucking cool.
those little moments for me. And then I think the best part of the entire match for me was at the end
What are
when
you
he
doing?
set up the concerto and he just kind of looked up and then just hit him.
Oh yeah.
Now, Cole, tell us how you really feel.
I hated every minute. I can't lie to you. I hated every fucking minute of this match.
I don't want you to. See, look, it was just like I had told you the other day when you messaged me. Like, this is what I want out of you. I want real criticism because that's what a wrestling fan does. It is a real criticism. You are a wrestling fan and you don't even fucking know it. You're so money right now. You don't even know.
I couldn't.
So here's what I liked about it, or why I liked the match the way it was, because, I mean, it was just an old school fucking grudge match, and that's I feel like they did what they did intentionally to make you feel and understand how exhausted they would be, and
Right.
that really, and that's what I felt. I'm not saying what you felt. I'm saying what I felt. And I'm saying why I
just
like.
telling you.
Let me tell you what
Like,
Cole felt. Like
I know.
What I felt.
But like I really enjoyed it because it just, for me, I was like, well, yeah, of course, like that makes sense that they're not really full of energy right now. They've already gone through 10, 20 minutes of this and they're both exhausted and they're not going to do something for the next 5 minutes or so until they kind of catch a little bit of that second wind. Like, so
The way it felt
that's
for me
why
though is that it was like they were immediately exhausted.
yeah.
As soon as they left the ring, it was the same energy the entire fucking match. It was Orton dragging Edge by the hair and then, throwing him into something, doing a chop, punching him, something, and then reverse roll. No. I'm bitching, okay? I'm bitching. Because I think it was fucking stupid.
Like, right away. Like, you would be tired too.
Okay,
if you got
the beginning was cool as fuck. Because I think, the RKO is the coolest fucking move ever made.
Oh, that was probably one of the highlights is when he came out as the cameraman. That was so good.
Yeah.
That
You
was
saw
so
it coming a
that was
mile
great.
away, but it was still fucking cool.
Like, again, some of that
I
beautiful
had to
old
watch
school.
the replay to see what happened.
Yeah, no, me too. Like some of that beautiful old school, just like I loved just all of the what's the word I'm looking for?
It was a great callback to the
Yeah,
era that they had together.
just the showmanship and like it's just the storytelling and it's so fun for me.
One of my favorite parts was when Edge was like, "Don't fucking count."
Yeah. Don't you fucking count.
I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
Dude, and Edge looked so great.
Yeah,
He
Edge looked
so great.
amazing for him being out for so long, and then like showing off his new acting chops, showing off his new
And his new ring gear.
Which he designs all himself, by the way. And using a safer move than the impaler that he used to do before. I think me personally, this match was a 4. It went on far too long for my liking, but it was still a great match, told a great story, and it was just so nice to see Edge back.
I agree.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna say a 4.5 just because it's like he finally, Orton's just been like fucking up his entire life, and he finally got him. And like I said, that moment when he had Orton on the top of the truck, and he had the chair, and he just kind of looked up and then just without even looking down, he just
Yeah, he just
concertoed it.
Ended
Yeah.
it where it all began. You know, he
Yeah, and it just
gave a concerto to the person who concertoed him, and like it
Full
was just
circle.
really poetic.
yeah,
Yeah,
he made
Uh,
it super dramatic, and I loved it.
yeah.
Cole, what was your rating and why was it a 1?
I know, right?
Um, in my heart, okay? In my heart,
My heart of hearts.
this is a 1.5. I'll give it a 2 just to be nice, because I like Edge.
They don't need your charity.
I like Edge. I like Randy. Holy fuck, I hated every moment of this. I sat there and I was like contemplating on whether or not I was even into wrestling at all. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Just like I said, the just how the pacing happened, and some of those moments were cool. Like the DDT off the back of the truck was cool because I was like, oh yeah, his neck. Like that was cool. The elbow drop in the office didn't do anything for me. I just thought it was like, oh okay, that was like a like a 3 foot elbow.
But it was just fun because he had to climb up into the roof. It was just fun. It was inventive.
I get that, but it wasn't fun for me. Personally, I think it made Edge look like a bitch because a lot of the time he's just like being pulled by his hair. I was fully invested into this story about how, he's like, oh, he's his brother and helped him through some hard times, and then he's like pulling through this shit through like, talking shit about his wife and saying how his wife doesn't give a fuck about him, even though that's exactly what AJ Styles is doing with The Undertaker. Like, I get it. I really do. I get it. It just was not. It seriously, like, I must have been watching something else because it was not hitting any of these cylinders for me whatsoever. I thought it was painfully boring.
Look, not every kind of match is gonna be for everyone.
Shut the fuck up, Siri. I wasn't talking to you. I can't tell you enough like how much this shit infuriated the fuck out of me.
I believe you. No, I believe
Like
you.
even the ending was bittersweet because I was like, I want this to be good, but it wasn't. And I know I'm totally alone in this, but I don't give a fuck. This is a hill I'm gonna die on. That match was not good.
Well, you're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Lonely loner.
Going down a lonely road.
The next match was the Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. I think that this match was super entertaining. I mean, anytime the Street Profits are on, it is a great match. Super evenly paced, super well done. Zelina Vega is always great at being the ringside manager.
Oh, she had a fantastic getup too.
She was looking crazy fly.
It's really nice to see that Triple H is lending his old WrestleMania gear to people. But I think this match was super cool, and it was nice to see Montez Ford do a flip out of the ring and actually land on people.
Yeah.
Instead of just fucking thin air, almost breaking his back.
Yeah.
Profits are just fun to watch.
They really are.
I personally can't stand their promos, but they are awesome to watch in the ring.
Love them. I think those are great.
See, this is where
for me they're
I'm
obnoxious.
This is where I'm a fan of what's happening on the TV when
for me they're
on.
I think their promos are 100%. Well, yeah, like I love them in the ring, but their promos for me are completely obnoxious.
I've never seen one of their promos, so I can't speak for that. I'm just saying, like, this fun, this kinetic energy that they bring to the ring every time doesn't fucking matter who they're fighting.
Yeah,
I think that they're just fun as fuck to watch.
They're
Same
awesome.
thing with like I totally lost what I was gonna use, but I thought it was fucking. I just really dig the Street Profits.
The only problem for me with this match is that I don't know what it is, but the WWE has done nothing with anyone Zelina Vega is associated with that has made me interested at all.
Right.
Like they're just meh. I don't know. Like Angel Garza does some great work in the ring and everything, but I don't know what it is. There's just something that I cannot like find the energy in me to give a shit about.
Well, and especially for a Latino wrestler, for a lucha libre type wrestler, like it's super hard to get invested in Angel Garza, which is ridiculous because all of the lucha style wrestlers are always so energetic and engaging. Like you just naturally gravitate toward them.
Yeah.
So for it to have been for them to be so bland, and an Austin Theory just coming out of nowhere is fucking like.
No, I don't like how they're what.
Yeah. No, exactly. Who? I saw him come out.
Like,
and
give us your theory as to why you think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match.
I mean, it was a good match.
I liked when Bianca Belair came out and her husband hyped her up, and it was all like this like cute bedroom eyes, and I don't know. I thought it was very cute.
And Bianca.
Oh, I was just gonna say my favorite thing when the Street Profits come out though is when Montez, I always, nobody mentions it, but I always, in my head, I'm like, oh, he's channeling the Ultimate Warrior when he grabs the ropes and starts shooting. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, so the match ends with Montez Ford doing a frog splash on top of, I think it was Austin Theory, and the match was great. Like the match was just really awesome. The things that happened after were just great. It sets up a nice feud between Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega. And Bianca Belair's call up has been like rumored for a while.
Oh really?
And yeah, it's been since Rumble because of her performance in the Women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So to see her on and on Raw, she was like, I go here now, like, which was really cool. I think like it's for her persona. But yeah, I give it a 4. I think this match was a 4.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.5.
5 out of 5.
Cole really likes the Street Profits.
I mean, I would give it a 3.5 because as much as I like the Street Profits, I'm just so super meh about especially Austin Theory at this point because they've invested nothing in making me give a shit about him. But really the same thing for Angel Garza. Like I give a shit about neither one of them because I have no reason to give a shit about them. So I'll give it a 3.5.
Cool. The next match was the 5-way women's match. I honestly tuned out for this match.
Yeah,
I don't remember a single fucking second.
It was
neither
really,
do
really
I.
bad, and I really wanted Sasha Banks to win because she was like talking to the reporter beforehand, and she was like, "You'll just have to see where my allegiance lies." I thought she was gonna take Bayley down, and I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, like that would have been the perfect pivot point in that storyline, and they fucking missed it. They just went right by it.
I tell you what, though, when Lacey hit Sasha with that women's right, I felt that. Like, in my loins, I felt that. That was such a hard hit. Yeah. She just crumpled.
I think with Sasha and Bayley, it's going to be one of those like slow burn splits.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those where, this kind of starts to, bring the turmoil together. Honestly, this match was a 3 for me. I mean, it was great. I really am so tired of people fucking sleeping on Tamina Snuka.
Yeah.
My 2 highlights for the match were the one was the part where one by one they each did a top turnbuckle move on Tamina and then they all pinned her.
That was a really fun sequence for sure.
And then my other favorite part was just a little part where I can't remember what Cole was announcing, but he said something. He's like, "Oh, she was really close, or they were really close to losing it." And Bailey's just like, "No, we weren't." Or she was really close to getting
See,
pinned. No, she wasn't.
That's one of the fun things about having no audience and being able to hear each other is they can totally have that extra level of banter.
You can
and it's
when they're showing a replay and the announcers are quiet, you can hear them like screaming in the background of the replay, and it's
like I like that. I think that's a lot of fun. I wish they could. I mean, I'm sure it would be impossible to do, but I wish there was a way to capture that when there is an audience there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
At this point, I was watching a YouTube video on how to do my Inferno run on RE3, so I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened during this match. I'm going to give it a 2 because I don't think any part of it was good really at all, and it highlights one of my biggest issues that I have with the WWE, where they just don't pull the fucking trigger on super big windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
Like this whole not Selena Vega, the Sasha Banks and Bailey thing could have been really fucking cool, but they just don't do it, and I just don't get it. I understand there's the prospect of doing like a slow burn betrayal, but it seems like we've kind of been doing that. Like it seems like this has been in the works for a while.
They've been like vaguely hinting at it for a lot. Like it's been a slow burn. We're past slow burn. We're at a no burn.
Yeah,
like,
I think
this is a no burn situation.
And I think it just has a lot to do with the climate currently and the fact that they don't have very many storylines to work off of. So I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. One of my favorite, I don't know if you guys caught this, one of the funniest things about this match for me was when both Sasha and Bailey got pinned, right? And they kicked out, and Bailey rolls out in front of the announce desk, and Cole was like, Bailey almost lost her title. And she comes out, and she comes out of the ring or whatever. She's like, no, I didn't.
Eddie,
well, that's what Nick was saying.
Nick just
Did we just
that.
time travel?
Oh shit! My bad. I got caught up on something on my phone.
Yeah, this
you
whole
did explain it better though. Like
this whole thing that they're doing with Bailey, I'm not fucking with. I was interested, it really was in the beginning.
I think Bailey's a great heel. I mean, she's a great heel.
heel. She's a better heel than she is a face.
There was a point where I almost thought that they were gonna do a full blown turnaround, because at one point Bailey was going, I think, for Lacey, and she hit Sasha, like knocked her off the edge, and then Sasha came in, and Bailey was trying to submit or pin, and Sasha like pulled her off, and like they were getting in each other's faces. And
see, like, so that's the problem I have with it, is that WWE creates all of these very great natural turning points, and then they don't use them.
Yeah, but then again, it's just like I said, like with the climate and the things that they're doing.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't that create additional story? That wouldn't take away from story. That would actually create other stories you can build on and add things to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because right now, what can they do? Oh,
right.
The same stale stuff they've been doing.
Right.
You know?
Right. No, you're right. So what did we get everybody's ratings?
No, I didn't give mine. I would say 3. I mean,
Same.
it was good. There were a few cool moments, but not that cool.
Yeah.
I would say 3, but there were, those highlights that I mentioned. I didn't mention the one where Naomi did like a crazy like double suplex to Bailey and Sasha, like from outside into the ring. That's kind of, I think, that and the turnbuckle onto Tamina sequence was what brought it up to a 4 for me.
Cool. So the next match we get is I don't know. I'm like, after sleeping on it and shit. I don't know. I'm not too sure about this match. It was the Firefly Funhouse match.
Oh.
John Cena versus The Fiend. I think the callbacks were all super great. I think every little sequence that they had was super great. I just wanted more wrestling.
I'm
Me too.
100% agree with you. I liked seeing, Thugonomics come out and
That
like
was
kind
so
of,
beautiful.
burn Bray Wyatt. What was the other one that was really fun?
I didn't understand the NWO one because, like, for the most part, they were John Cena related.
Yeah.
But then he comes out as NWO.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like,
well, I mean, they even did the WCW Nitro one where he's like,
yeah.
I mean, I think it was just kind of like a memory lane trip. At first, it was kind of their gimmicks, and then after a while, it was just kind of like, hey, let's just put these together.
This was like next to the Edge and Orton match. This was the one that I was like, okay, this is one of the reasons I'm watching this WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Is because John Cena is coming back to wrestle The Fiend, and I come to find out he's not. They're not doing anything. Like,
he's just messing with his head.
That's the only reason that I was super disappointed in that, and just wish that there was an actual match.
Yeah, and honestly,
because I mean, with the Undertaker one, they didn't do the whole nostalgia trip thing, but like they did do a lot of theatrics and drama, and still had a match as well.
Mm-hmm.
During this whole match, I was worried for like Angela and Cole because I was like, well, they're not going to get any of these. Like, they're not gonna understand. You know what I mean?
The
like,
references.
Yeah,
I don't understand the reference.
You don't say.
Yeah, because I was me and Derek, if we're not watching it together, we're usually messaging each other and talking to each other about what's going on during the match, and that was one of the things I told him. I was like, Cole and Angela are just gonna look at this and be like, what the fuck is going on?
So, I liked it because I know a lot about Bray Wyatt, and I am definitely a Bray Wyatt fan. I didn't follow, like, I got the gist of like the whole John Cena thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like
it was me. Sorry, my phone
like
was next to my interface.
I feel like it wasn't a match. It was the start of something new. I think that
I forgot about the my favorite callback of the whole sequence was when Bray Wyatt was playing the part of Kurt Angle when he called John Cena out, and he comes out and he's like, what do you have that can take me down? And John Cena just keeps going, ruthless aggression, and he like swings at him and he keeps ducking. I was like, okay, because that was cool. That was like John Cena's debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
like
it
when
was.
He first came out and he just beat the hell out of Kurt Angle.
Yeah, and I liked the Vince McMahon puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really dug that. I thought
I'm kind of
surprised
funny. Vince let them do that.
Well, it's very self-aware. Like, I feel like,
Derek.
and playful, and I really like what they're doing with the Fiend.
I'm sure they had to toe a very thin line.
Well, Vince was like, yeah, let's do that, and because Vince, when he likes something, he's like, that's good shit. You know what I mean? Like that's his like favorite line. And for them, and Vince was like, throw the line in there, make the puppet. Like, he was all about it.
That's hilarious.
That I wasn't expecting either. Like, for that line to actually end there.
The Doctor of Thugonomics part was probably my favorite part of the sequence, I think.
I agree.
Like,
all those cheesy rap lines from back in the day were so funny.
The whole time Cole's like, what did he just say?
Yeah, that was some very Attitude Era stuff. Like, that was...
I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I got a frozen Derek on my end here.
Nope, he's fine on my end.
Oh, he's like mid-blink.
That's just my resting state.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was... don't really have a rating for this because it wasn't
John
really.
Chain.
Yeah, John Chain.
I mean, I
It
get
wasn't
what
really
they
a
were
match.
doing. Yeah, I get what they were doing with it. I understand it, but it wasn't like you were saying, Eddie, and I think I told you when we were chatting about it as well. Like, I love watching Bray Wyatt wrestle. I love watching Bray Wyatt, and so I felt really just completely and utterly screwed out
The
of
mandible
getting to watch
claw.
out of getting to watch him do his thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I get it. I get what they were doing. And I mean, they're trying to create that mystique so that he can take over the mantle of the Undertaker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they needed to do something like that because they fucked up hard when they brought the Fiend, you know, out and just sort of pushed him kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
Like, you already screwed up creating the next Undertaker. So now you've got to work even harder to bring that mystique back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it makes sense, but I still don't like it.
Well, and what made sense for me is, you know, it was called a funhouse match, which, like, I don't know about you guys, but I got like very like a house of mirrors, you know,
Yeah.
like a constant state of confusion for John
Mhm.
Cena
Right.
and you know like
I think they should have brought actual physical elements of funhouse
Yeah.
stuff into it. That would have been way fun.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good.
So for me, it's a 3.5. Not quite a 4, but not a 3 in any sense.
Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know it actually was a match until Bray Wyatt came in and counted the 3 count for himself to win.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, that was it. Okay. All right.
Hot with the mandible claw.
I am going with a 2 just because I wanted a match. 2.5 because of the callbacks, especially the ruthless aggression one. That was probably my favorite. But yeah, I was expecting a actual Fiend versus John Cena match, and
Agreed.
I did not get that.
Agreed.
Yeah. It was
I'm
very
giving it
disappointing.
a
I was
4.
not given what I wanted.
Angela, what were you saying?
I'm giving it a 4. It's clearly a very divisive match,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I think that I understand what they were going for, and I had fun watching it, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
Cole?
Yeah.
It's a 3. I didn't hate it.
It's fine.
Short and sweet. Just how I like it.
Just like you, Cole.
You're welcome.
Um,
Only in the dick area.
I'll give it a 3 too. I mean, I understand they're trying to set up for the future of the character that they should have already been setting up for. And they fucked it up, and so now they're hustling trying to fix it. And I get that, but yeah, I was totally disappointed by being like losing out on that chance to see the match.
The way that it should have been done is that this Firefly match or whatever the fuck it's called should have been done like maybe Super Showdown or one of
they
the
should
other
have-
ones,
I-
one
I
of the
don't
other
think-
pay-per-views.
I think what they should have done with it is split all of these things into separate promos and done it over the last few weeks.
I
It
feel
definitely should have been a fight. Like that's the problem that I have with it. Is it
Right.
should
Yeah.
have been a fight for fucking Wrestlemania. This is your Super Bowl of wrestling. It should have been a fight. It
So,
should
I
have been
think-
a fight.
I think that if they would have cut down on a couple of references, like the non-John Cena Bray Wyatt references,
Mm-hmm.
but like let's say ruthless aggression, right? And then have like a little bit of a match, and then go to Bray Wyatt, old Bray Wyatt, and have a little bit of a match. You know what I mean? Like just have them
Yeah.
wrestling throughout these eras. I think that would have been so rad.
See, that would have been way better.
So like seeing like ruthless aggression John Cena wrestle like Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt,
Yeah.
and then cuts, and then it ends with like
all of a sudden, Bray
nowadays John
disappears.
Cena fighting the Fiend.
yeah.
That
Guys,
would have been a 5.
That's too much work.
That's
too
all they
much
got.
work. That's too smart.
That's all
too
they
smart
got
for
is
something
work.
to be
That's
done.
all they got. That's all they got is work. Like, I mean, that's all they got to do.
Oh, yeah, but
But-
it's too smart. It's too convenient.
It's true.
Where do I apply to work for WWE?
You clearly understand story writing way too well. You're overqualified.
And so we come to the last match of WrestleMania: Brock Lesnar versus. Huh?
We skipped one.
What did we skip? Oh yeah, we
skipped the worst match ever.
Yeah, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg for the.
There was
title.
a total of 7 moves the entire match. 3 spears and 4 slams.
You know what, though? I feel like it's exactly what it should have been. I think if it had gone any longer, I think if they had tried to be more diverse with anything else, I think it would have gone terribly wrong.
I keep getting... I just got to learn to not, but I keep getting these high hopes for a Goldberg match to...
Oh, no, don't do that.
Be good.
Nope.
To be good.
Don't do that.
You're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time.
I had a bad time.
What makes me upset is that they made the Fiend look weak by making Goldberg look weak. The Fiend isn't weak.
Yeah.
He's like this total fucking badass.
You're such a mark for the Fiend.
And I feel
Dude,
like...
I am too,
I
so
feel
shut
like,
up.
I feel like, and this is kind of going back to... What was the Fiend Goldberg match? That was Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
No,
was it?
It was Saudi Arabia.
Oh, it was Super Showdown.
Right, that's right.
Oh, yep.
So we all had the complaints about. Well, I had the complaint about that weak jackhammer.
Dude, that was sad. It was a sad hammer.
Still stand by the fact that
a whack hammer.
Yeah, I still stand like Goldberg looks incredible. I feel like he could have at least got like 2 seconds of it holding him up in the air and then slamming him down. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
feel like he could have done that.
I think this match.
I saw him do it to the Giant in person.
No, yeah.
I think this match was super dumb. I mean, it was what it needed to be for a Goldberg versus Braun Strowman match.
Yeah, I think anything else would have been a train wreck.
I'm sad that this was the way that Braun Strowman won a strap.
I am very sad it's the way he won it. However, that is kind of some clout, though. He still won it from Goldberg, who is an icon in the industry.
Exactly.
So,
I don't know. I gave it a 3.
Dude, I'm straight up giving it a 1.
The thing is about this match is it wasn't even supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but since
it would have been the same thing.
It would have. It would have been the same thing.
It would have been 4 spears, but at least he would have been able to get a jackhammer off. I think because Roman's the much smaller dude.
I
still stand by the fact that I wanted to see Goldberg and Roman Reigns spear each other at the same time and open some wormhole
portal. Yeah. Portal to another dimension. I want to give it a 4, not because of the match or anything to do with the match, but just because it was blessedly short and sweet, and it led to my man Strowman getting a title that he should have had a long goddamn time ago.
I agree. Angela and Cole?
I'll echo Derek. I think it was a 4.
I will give it a 2. I hated it.
Good for you. Good for you.
Cole or Nick, you need to screenshot that and meme that.
Cole's face.
A 2.
It sucked, and I told,
a 2.
and I said how the fiend, it made the Fiend look weak because Goldberg lost to someone like Braun Strowman. That's my thing.
So now on to the last match: Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title.
Oh, it saved both my screens. I didn't want that.
I think that it was super short and
Watching
sweet.
porn over there, Nick? I'm just kidding.
I was like, you mean
All
Facebook?
right, let's wrap it up. Let's focus. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm like 40
So-
minutes over my old meeting time. So yeah, short and sweet. I thought the fact that Brock Lesnar lost was probably my favorite thing
Yeah.
about it.
It was so
that
short.
was the highlight of WrestleMania for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was fine.
Hey, Claymore County and Suplex City.
Yeah,
that's
those were-
literally all you got to say about this match because that's literally the only thing that happened.
So, I mean, like, I'm glad that...
It kind of WWE kind of paints themselves in a corner when it comes to Brock Lesnar. All you can do, because all you have Brock Lesnar doing is that one heavy hitting move. All you can do is have somebody else do their one heavy hitting move over and over again while he's doing his over and over again, and that's it. That's all. You've painted yourself into a corner. You can't have a dynamic match because of what you've built Brock Lesnar up to be.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought my rating for it was a 3.5 though, just because I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting more.
Why?
I don't know.
It was-
I don't
it
know.
was just-
I don't know what I expected.
I feel like this one was too short and not enough happened because
Yeah.
this rivalry has been going on for so long. I was expecting more.
Yeah, I think 3.5 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I gave it a 4 just because, again, the result, the fact that it was short and sweet, and I mean, we weren't going to get anything else. Like, I knew that going in.
Right.
I'll give it a 4 just because McIntyre finally has a title.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
And Brock spoke during the match. He spoke.
He said words and
He
things.
said words, and you heard his voice.
Was Paul Heyman even there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it? Oh, I don't even remember
He
him
was
being
there.
there.
I don't remember if he was.
Oh, yeah. he was.
Just as fucking obnoxious as he's ever been.
The man is the king of promos, though.
I
Yep.
mean, he is. He is.
He really is.
That
It's
weird
Paul
little
Heyman.
interview that he had was awkward. Like it was like him heavy breathing and then like
Yeah.
you're not doing anything for me. You're just coming off as a little weird.
Weird.
What did you think of the match, Cole?
It was a 3. I didn't hate it.
It was fine.
So that concludes everything. As far as the pay-per-view, for me, it was a 3.5.
Yeah.
3.
I mean, I would.
They
I would say
they did what they could. I'm gonna give it just a 3.
I'd say a 3.5 just because there were like the last couple of matches of night 1 and a fair amount of night 2 were really, really good, but night 1 got such a slow start that
And-
I'd call it 3.5.
Did we honestly need 2 nights?
Not really, because I mean, they were like in all it was 6 hours. So I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't like we could have, but I mean, I can see why they were trying to do that, especially because of it being pre-recorded and being in different locations. So
I liked it. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it.
Well, that concludes our review of WrestleMania 36. As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcore Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcorppodcast@gmail.com.
Or if you want to hear us talk more about wrestling, subscribe to our Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/Nerdcorp podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra content and bonus episodes. If you can't make a monthly commitment, please consider supporting us on our PayPal, paypal.me/Nerdcorp podcast. We want to have the best merch, the best loot, the best everything, so that you have a great nerdy experience with us.
I just got to say one funny thing. The way that you guys are positioned, so you're on the left and Cole and Angela are in the top right. And when you said that's right, you like looked like right up at her. You're like, that's right, Angela.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Angela Wooden.
I'm Nick Lewis.
And I'm Derek Reese.
Y'all have a good night and keep it nerdy.
You're not Derek Reese.
You're right, I'm tepid nudes.